Good morning, y'all. I hope you're doing well and are keeping yourselves together in this maybe longer than we ever expected lockdown. I mentioned a few weeks back that one of the new habits I've been trying to pick up through all of this is reading more. Now, I'm mostly trying to read things that are a bit more academic or spiritual, but I've also turned to one of my favorite sources of comfort, children's literature. I've always loved children's lit, especially in stressful times. The stories are usually light and peaceful, and they always end well, which we could all use these days. Well, anyway, I just finished reading through The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I've read it before, but it's been a while, and I have to say I highly recommend it if you like that sort of thing. Without giving too much away if you haven't read it, the story is about a little girl named Mary who moves to England to live with family in an old, shut-up manor in the Yorkshire moors. And as she quickly finds out, the only way to amuse herself is to go out and explore the expansive gardens. Well, as you might have guessed, there is one walled garden that is a secret. It's been shut up for a decade, and well, once she hears, she just has to know what's inside. It's a lovely book, and has such picturesque descriptions of the spring coming to the garden, with the plants peeking up out of the earth, and the flowers blooming, and the robins building nests. And along the way, Mary starts to wonder what's making everything turn so lovely. Not just the garden, but she finds a change in herself as well. And she and the other children she meets decide it must be the magic that's causing everything to change and become wonderful. They think a lot about the magic, and they want to share its secret with everyone. At the end of the book, one of the children's mothers is let in on the secret, but it turns out she's heard of the magic before. And I just want to read you a little section from that part of the book. Please excuse my attempt at voices and/or accents. It was because she seemed such a wonderful woman in her nice moorland cottage way that at last she was told about the magic. "Do you believe in magic?" asked Colin after he had explained about Indian fakirs. "I do hope you do." "That I do, lad," she answered. "I never knowed it by that name. But what does the name matter? I warrant they call it a different name in France and a different one in Germany. The same thing as set the seeds swellin' and the sun shinin' made thee a well lad, and it's the good thing. It isn't like us poor fools as think it matters if us is called out of our names. The big good thing doesn't stop to worrit, bless thee. It goes on making worlds by the million, worlds like us. Never thee stop believin' in the big good thing, and knowin' the world's full of it, and call it what thou likes. Thou'rt singin' to it when I come into the garden." "I felt so joyful," said Colin, opening his beautiful strange eyes at her. "Suddenly I felt how different I was, how strong my arms and legs were, you know, and how I could dig and stand, and I jumped up and wanted to shout out something to anything that would listen. The magic listened when thou sung the doxology. It would 'a listened to anything thou'd sung. It was the joy that mattered. Eh, lad, what's names to the joy maker?" And she gave his shoulders a quick, soft pat again. Children's literature can hold some pretty deep lessons, really. I love that, though. What do names matter to the joy maker, the big good thing, the magic? It's the joy that mattered, the praise, the creation of those millions of worlds, and the growing and the shining and the health and beauty of everything, ourselves included. Of course, we might have an idea of who she was talking about, and what she says is true. Throughout the scriptures, there are more names given to God than we could easily remember. The Lord of Lords, the one who sees, the Creator, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the morning and the evening star, the Good Shepherd, the great physician, Father, Mother, Son, Spirit. I've also been reading through the Bible, and the other day I made it to the beginning of Moses' story in Exodus, one of my favorite scenes in the Bible. But Moses said to God, "If I come to the Israelites and say to them, 'The God of your ancestors has sent me to you,' and they ask me, 'What is his name?' what shall I say to them?" God said to Moses, "I am who I am." He said further, "Thus you shall say to the Israelites, I am has sent me to you." God also said to Moses, "Thus you shall say to the Israelites, the Lord, the God of your ancestors, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this is my title for all generations. I am who I am. I will be who I will be. The God who is all being and all life and all existence itself. One too wonderful for us to imagine. And yet, like those children learned for themselves as they watched life bloom in that secret garden, the God who is so deeply connected and present with each and every living creature, with all of the goodness and beauty around us, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem, the true joy bringer who meets us wherever we are, just waiting for us to take notice. I wonder, what are your names for the magic that's around us? Who is God to you? Perhaps as you think on that special relationship you have with God, take a minute and say a little prayer using that name. The name that's between you and God, a name for right now, in this time, or maybe a name that's as familiar as your own. And know as you speak to that good shepherd, the Alpha, the Omega, the Lion, the Lamb, know that God hears you, that God is with you, that God can and does bring light and life to all things. Amen. So take care and stay safe.